Well, we finally succeeded. The fleet that was blocking Lewis for all this time, Jesus, it must have been forever. Because it was ever since the Federation War even began. And then just blockaded and broke through to Lewis there and just stayed there ever since. And now we finally managed to get rid of them. Although, we lost a lot of our ships there. Mind you, as far as the command points suggest, it is pretty much all my free frigates and consorts, mind you. And we lost a handful of cruisers, I think. But we're still in relatively good shape aside for the repairs that need to be done there. So, this has been a massive victory, I gotta say. And in the blockade over an armory here with all the carriers is going to be just as easy to deal with, I think. If not easier, considering they're much more inferior tech. They do rely a little bit on their fighters, but that's not going to be an issue. So I think with that said, I need to leave the fleet here for a couple turns so that they can repair themselves. Get back to full fighting strength. Because with 13%, I think that's the entire fleet benefits from that, so this is going to repair itself relatively quickly. But with the majority of my fleet gone there, and after that huge issue with the frame rate that we had with that battle, I made a decision here. I am going to have to dismantle all the ships that are causing these issues, I think. So the drone ships, the venom sprayers, and whatever else we have left there, I'm going to have to remove them. Or refit them into something else. To try and combat that issue, I believe. So let me just see what we have. We have at least 3 drone ships. We have 3 drone ships, and I'm not seeing any venom sprayers at the moment. So it looks like, at least for this fleet, we have no venom sprayers, and we're going to have to refit those cruisers. So with that said, I think it's time to include some new ships before we actually get back to our campaign. And with, like I said, the venom sprayers are going to be retired, just due to the sake that they're going to cause so much of a frame rate hit with all the mass spray of fire. They're going to have to be removed, unfortunately, and my soldiers, which also have a pair of cluster cannons, are going to have to be removed as well. Not to mention the basic command is kind of pointless on this right now, aside from maybe the possible damage boost they can get off it. So we're going to quickly correct this. Oh, there we go. I was wondering how to get rid of it first. I've been out of the loop quite a bit, I guess. So this will be a very quick tweak, I believe. The only question remains is, do I want to use antimatter cannons to get that massive boost? Kind of don't see why not, because it fits the same role, it just packs the same punch, or even bigger punch rather. Well, it's more for bigger ships as opposed to the cluster cannons that hit smaller ships, but it synergizes pretty well, I think, with the laser cannons, which is going to have a lot of rapid fire. That's the only thing I don't know. Maybe I want to make this more of an anti-capital ship fighter, and then make it like an alternate type of soldier that deals with the smaller ships. Because these soldiers at the moment are like the only ships which have frontal firing weapon, or entirely focus on frontal firing weapons. So it has a unique role for my fleet at the moment of actually chasing down any of the other frigates and corvettes that I may come up against. So I think I decide on a brand new type, making a brand new type of frigate, which will be basically the brother of the soldier here, but instead will be focused more on the smaller ships. Only question is, at this point, do I want to put 2 more antimatter cannons on or not? Let me have a quick look. Obviously there's going to be heavy energy demands, which is going to be a little tricky. Only 4 energy to actually operate it and run it. But 60 energy per shot, which with capacitors that won't be too much of an issue, because I'm going to replace these, and at least most of them with capacitors. Actually, come to think of it, I just want to stick with 2 because again, it does take ammo. So it's gonna, if I rely too much on antimatter cannons, then it's going to hurt me in the long run, I think, when I do eventually run out of ammo. Because like right now, it's 66 shots. And that basic command, do I even need that basic command at this point anymore? What is it, only 5%? 5% damage boost for whatever I can throw on there to give it better longevity. So that could easily solve my ammo problems. And actually I could justify now having the extra antimatter cannons. So that's perfectly fine. And it'll of course be frontal firing as well. And let's see, is that all I want to do for it or not? Because the range is the exact same as the laser battery. It just got a little more damage fallout, but you cannot ignore 5,000 points of damage. This thing's gonna do a lot of punch. I'm kind of sad though that it doesn't have as many laser batteries now for like being able to fight smaller ships. It has higher emphasis on the antimatter cannons now, which does make me a little sad. Can I tweak this any? Because I got a good amount of energy. It's going to regenerate relatively well. It's just going to burn through it just as quick. Because if this is any indication, I'm going to generate 111 energy a second, I would imagine. So it's going to regenerate relatively quickly. I just need essentially the power storage so that way I can keep firing them all at once. So I need what? 240. So I actually have enough energy. It's just a matter of having the power to regenerate for the next salvo with all these laser batteries firing. So with that said, I'm going to get rid of these point defense weapons to kind of get some more laser batteries in. I did get rid of an antimatter reactor though, so I'm going to have to add a new one in to help fix that. So it's going to lose all its point defense potential and go straight for the frontal battery. So this is going to be truly a hit and run ship. It's going to dash in, do its damage, then dash back out. And of course energy is still perfectly fine. The one thing that scares me, of course, is if one of those antimatter reactors get hit, well, it still actually can sustain itself with one generator down. So maybe that's not as scary as I thought it would be. So how are we looking? We have 200 energy, so actually that's not enough. We need one more power capacitor at least to support that. So that's enough to operate all 4 of these all together, and these have relatively low demands. They're just going to be firing constantly, that's all. And how's ammo? 139 seconds is pretty respectable. So that was nice and quick. We got our Mark V soldier. Now it's time to make ourselves a brand new frigate ship. And I already know what I'm going to call this. I'm just going to call it the guard drone. Or like our guard ship essentially. It's going to be similar in concept to the soldier. But it's going to have more rapid fire weaponry. A little more emphasis on accuracy. But it's going to... The only thing is, it's not going to be that much drastically different, is there? Oh. I gotta stop moving this chair, damn it. It's making too much of a racket. But let's... Well, I lost my train of thought. Laser batteries. Lots and lots of laser batteries to hit smaller ships and especially our frigates. Because it's got the unique role of being able to chase corvettes down. Because they'll be right behind there, so the laser will be a little more reliably accurate to hit their targets as opposed to like point defense weaponry since they're going to be flying right by them in most cases. So that's of course with good micromanagement as well, mind you. And I do want some point defense weaponry, because that's going to help shooting down missiles and any smaller objects in the way, and it'll help differentiate it a little bit more from the soldier, which works out perfectly fine. So let's power this thing up and get our shields going. And this thing will be just as durable as the soldier in almost every regard. Is this even any point to use this artillery now? Respectable damage, but it's pretty inferior, especially compared to the antimatter cannons. So yeah, no interest in that at all. So let's find ourselves some laser batteries. Arm this thing to the teeth. This is basically what the good old soldier was essentially, only this is going to have a lot more emphasis on the lasers and the rapid fire weaponry. I just wish I could get phasers at some point so I can utilize those things. Because with perfect accuracy with the good damage, and even I even have like these, what is it? The high energy focus and the particle calibrators to help boost that point defense potential. I'd be a little limited on space, mind you, though, so I'll have to think on that when I finally get it. But that would be a good addition to this type of ship, because with the perfect accuracy, it'll reliably hit corvettes completely there. So, how do I want to do this? I could throw more spinals on. I just want to leave a little bit room for like power and energy, because I don't know how much am gonna need. Right there, that's more than enough at the moment. Get a couple of power capacitors to help power everything. 200 energy, actually, yeah, that should be more than enough. I can just throw in our antimatter reactor on to kind of get that reliable power. And then it's just a matter of balancing out the point defense weaponry for shooting down missiles, and maybe do I want some flak guns? No, I don't actually think I do, because at this point torpedoes are going to be the bigger threat primarily for most of the ships there, especially in close range. They'll even be able to hit my Hercules beetles in that if they shoot the right angle, so need something to be able to at least shoot them right away and do the damage probably needed to kill them. Here's hoping. I just don't think I need... Do I even... I could fit a dual laser on here. Is that worth it in comparison to like 3 spinals? 50% damage. Does not look like it, quite frankly. Ooh, and there's also an option for speed boost. That's actually going to be fit perfectly. I just didn't realize that. It's going to boost the weight a bit, so... There's the question. Do I want to add rapid fire and speed boost together for the sake of being able to saturate, constantly hit the target? I think I do. I just don't know how it's going to work in the cost, so I got to keep that in mind. Because it is going to hurt my mobility a little bit. And then we'll just fill this out with some point defense weaponry. I just need to see, is there anything else I want to throw on? I just wish I could throw in our engine of some kind. That would be nice if I could do that. To kind of help boost its mobility a little bit. Oh well, not much I can do about that. Actually, targeting computer actually do well. They're winning it. What's the tonnage? The tonnage is really light. It's just going to cost a bit, and it's going to be in the front, so that's going to be pretty dangerous, isn't it? It's very easy for that to lose its potential. I kind of want to make that armored for like, because it actually it gives 50% of boost to make it a little more durable. And that, yeah, that takes up a bit of the power there. So I'm currently sitting at 32 power seconds. So maybe I need one more generator, just to help keep it sustained. And then what do we need? What else is there? I'm just trying to figure out if I covered all my bases or not. Because I got rapid fire and speed boost. That boosts the tonnage quite a bit though, so I need to compare that with the soldier after I finish here. Because I don't want this to be too much slower. We got a good amount of point defense weaponry. You could almost argue it's too much for being able to shoot down missiles and smaller corvettes as they're passing by. We have the power sustain. We got the shield generator the best we can. We got the armored targeting computer to help keep. I completely lost my train of thought there. So the targeting computer is durable as kind of a frontal wall, and it'll boost my accuracy quite significantly. So I think that's worth having. And the tonnage isn't really that significant a boost. It's just a production there that will hurt me a little bit in the long run. And is there anything else I need to throw on? I think I got everything covered. Aside, there's no point for rockets, because that just make... Nah, I don't need rockets at all, because even the mini rockets wouldn't really be point defense, would they? They're just small damage. Let me find them. Let's see. Yeah, just they're just guide weapons. They don't really... They're more for bombing runs than anything else, I imagine. So they're not worth having, so I'm just going to fill it out with point defense lasers in that case. And hopefully we should be doing good. And I think I may want one more power capacitor, just, hey, because why not? A little bit of backup just to be safe a little bit. Alright, so here's our guard frigate. Brand new ship to the fleet, which will actually work out relatively well. Here's hoping. So we got a guard. Now let's compare that to the soldier here that I have now. Tonnage. Let's see. 32 turning, 21 mobility, 279 production. So that's higher production. A little less mobile, unfortunately. It's probably because of the extra weight I just put on here. So maybe I want to remove the rapid fire, because these things already fire pretty fast. So let's try that one more time without the rapid fire, but we'll keep the speed boost for obvious reasons, because that's pretty good. And then we'll compare tonnage there, because it is 1 ton per laser battery. So that's 35. That's a little bit closer. Yep, that is a lot more closer, and does have less energy demands though, but it should be able to sustain itself a lot better. And of course it's cheaper, so it is worth having. It is a welcome addition, I think, because now I have actually 2 frigates that are or 2 ships that are actually frontal damage reliant. And the drone ship, unfortunately, is going to have to be retired, I think, because this is causing a lot of my latency issues. It doesn't help that the bots are doing as well with like the Raleigh, but there's not much I can do about that, unfortunately. So we'll do what we can. But do I want to make a missile ship like the Wasp Peter's already made, so which kind of has that emphasis on missiles, so maybe I want to make a Wasp.